said don't do it, I said yeah, my boy said don't do it, I said I'm a belita, big queso, I'm born with the heater, but I still took a heater. Where the heck gone? I've been on my King Kong, come back low. I've been on, what? Check my pedigree, I got legacy in my pop. Yeah, my boy said don't do it, I said
Everything is on the line here. You win, you will follow Team Heretics all the way to Toronto. And if you lose, that lower bracket is looking a little bit dangerous.
Pressure over that mold in the way that he wanted to. Now, this is his team. Let's see if he can lead them to victory over Fnatic. As you were saying to me earlier, Tom, and VCT, the O3s don't go their way. That's a sneaky play by nAts. Right up the rope. Goes past one and takes him down. Fnatic, though, trading blows for the most part. It's left Boaster alone. Coming into this game, he's got the highest clutch percentage alongside Camo.
8-4, and then the time before that they started attack and they went 8-4, and the time before that they started defense and they went 8-4, and then the time before that they started on attack and they went, who knows? nAts can do anything. Already an aggressive start to the round. Camo going, looking, and it's the bait and switch, but Camo actually predicts he's ready for Chronicle. Obviously an important part of the game.
From main and from vents with a stinger in hand. Disadvantage in their favor. Snakebite goes down. That's going to delay the position. nAts, so he's got the close range angle. He's being spotted. The decoy blinds him. Great play by Kayak. They'll get themselves towards the site, but now the rotations are coming in, and there's only 12 seconds to get this spike planted. Pressure. Oh, and as Camo picks up 4. It's not quite the ace, and it's not nAts doing it.
Chronicle's going to be isolated. So they go aggro. I say they. Camo goes aggro, finds that opener. And then from then on, it is basically the Camo show, just being able to hold onto that site almost solo.
The rotation's already coming through. Team Liquid, 3 players towards the site, but only 1 on it, and the gate crash used to get right out of there. Showstopper fired in, but it's Kiko who ends up falling. Chronicle fires right back through that smoke and ends up packing the punch that gets Viper's Pit to the site. They can now use that to lock it down, but they're picking off scalps. Never mind.
It almost seems impossible already. Yeah, I think again, just realizing that the economy is against them here.
The flash coming in from Kayak. He's got his gate crash to get right onto the site, so he might look like he's a little too far away. Alphayer, though, paving the way. Only the one to be found. Kiko. Some of them have looked great for him. Camo on his way through. He's got the flash to work with. Going all the way to backside, just opening up the info for his teammates. Viper's Pit, though, put in as the pressure's applied.
Wait patiently to come back in.
I like the idea from Camo. He faked out that he was the decoy, but he couldn't quite find Chronicle. He was too deep in there. They've got him eventually, though, and Boaster falls with him. Crashy's now up close, finds one. Defuse already, up to half, and he knows that that player had to come off the defuse. Biding time here, Kiko trying to force the fight, and he will get the duel eventually, but it's Crashy's to clutch it out.
Slip through that pit in towards the spawn and just hold on to ground was the one that ended up winning it. I think just the surprise factor of where Crashy's ended up being, and what we really have seen sort of the... This fight though, even a trade wouldn't be great here for Alpha, and yeah, immediately I like it. Just reposition to a new spot, even a stun behind it as well.
Instead, that rifles towards the A site, and Fnatic gearing up to execute into it. nAts on standby too. He's seen them. Snakebite's gonna go down. 30 seconds as well.
I like the use of the dimensional drift. Your opponents are. Kayak trying to make things more awkward. In fact, even looks to try and take the duel. 15 seconds. nAts is the one to find the kill, and even a showstopper thrown in, which does eventually catch out Crashies. 10 seconds. Fnatic have left it so late to try and get something done, but the spam actually helps out, and now needs a little bit more, but straight through the smoke. It will be nAts to take down that planter. Well,
but they had the ult economy. The fact that after first pick, Showstopper can be pulled through, not even acquired there. It was already online coming in, and then Viper's Pit is there. And
this time they've managed to find a lot of space towards middle. Will they?
Oh, seconds left.
They've been spotted. There's an idea now that nAts should stick around. There was a gap. Puts them on the cross, almost loses his life for his trouble. Kiko under heavy pressure in the backside. There's a response. The shots need to land for Kiko. He'll grab one. 12 seconds again. Time pressure on for Fnatic. Players flooding into the site, the plant being stuck, and it will be acquired, but these players are out in the open. Easily taken down by Team Liquid as again.
Came so late in this round. I think it was a shot by Chronicle that was the first sort of piece of the puzzle, but I also really like as well the targets that were chosen there by Liquid, because
you saw that.
And aggression in middle. Now the reposition from Camo as he gate crashed out with the utility thrown his way, but when he swings in with that op, Crashies is there waiting. But the B site that they're looking at already has reinforcements. Patatek, snakebite down from nAts. And he's getting aggressive, they both are. They're waiting as the smoke fades and they'll take down Crashies. That's the spike right in front of them. nAts picking them off one by one, and it's a 4-piece already. An ace on the cards, it's Kayak to deny, but the round goes to Liquid anyways.
a great time in terms of individual form, given the speeches as well, but that timing for Crashies was unfortunate. And when you know that your opponents have to sort of run back into your crosshair, they're one of the favorites to make it to Toronto. That's what's on the line in this match. Both squads looking to play in, and while Crashies under pressure.
It's Camo going in for it, but Kayak's there to greet him and plenty of players to swing with. A big fight on the backside, and with a triple kill under his belt, Kayak may have pulled him across the line here. With everybody on high HP, this is quite the challenge.
Trying to find an isolated duel, while Boaster is exactly that. Wow, okay. At the speed of sound, Alfia is there behind. For now, though, not much of an investment. nAts with a little bit extra on the Ghost.
Flash.
Okay, then.
nAts doing his best Chronicle impression. It's not quite a classic, but it'll do the job. A rifle in the hands of Camo. This round is far from a certainty for the defenders. In fact, this could be a major upset to the flow of this early half. They could have bridged the gap, but instead they are left miles apart. Team Liquid, for the highest clutch percentage, have been in a lot more than his opponent. But this one, they're playing it perfectly. Off Patatek's contact, a big swing, and he doesn't even need any help. 8-6 now.
Oh, okay. They went in with a lot of pistols, SMGs. They went in with maybe a shotgun or two. No, they had rifles to play with. They lose an immediate opening duel to nAts with a pistol, which maybe just trying to sell the ultimate ruse. Yeah, okay, there we go. I was thinking that's an odd spot to sit.
Be something they're aware of, but I see a gate crash going towards it, and he will be, if they're spotted, oh, this is it. nAts walking up, they're looking the right way, and he actually gets one before going down. Pressure on now, rotate in from Kayak. Op is in play, and Crashy stays aggressive. That's a great play to get them the advantage.
Move Liquid need to get into this site. And in fact, they've teleported almost directly onto an opponent. The swing doesn't quite work out though. Crashy's still standing. Let's be honest, I don't think there's any world in which he manages to get this done, especially now. The time already gone. Crashy's the first point of contact, and he's going to close out as well. What a round from him.
Phenomenal defense from Crashies, a 4-piece pickup over on the other side for Team Liquid, and this was a round with a lot of danger, with nAts lurking up behind them, finding that fantastic position in what could have, and for many teams would have been, 2 players dropped in heaven, a site lost, and a round
ready. And already, Alpha, yeah, he basically just had to shoot down at his own feet, but that is Camo gone seconds into the round.
As you hear that voice line delivers, and the rocket fired in. 2 players down below. They've got a trap set and sprung with the spike now under their control.
So only shot at Chronicle. So Alfia was just the spectator. Serial finally deals with him, and Patatek's found another. Now the spike, as you said, is in a horrible spot, and while with Kayak
from the attacker side, he can isolate the first duel, but he's down to 2 HP. Well handled, and Alfier, he knew he'd done damage. Maybe not that much, but...
I think a lot of teams in that scenario might have ended up demoralized, but it's been a big talking point of Fnatic all year that this is, whether or not you agree this is the best iteration of the roster. Right now it's looking very good for them. 5 rounds in a row, no pauses anymore as well for the side of Liquid, unless one's called by the opposing side. Chronicle again has just stepped up with a double. An aggressive position to say the least, but push that's already coming through from Crashies. They have this round sewn up. They know exactly where their opponents are. They've trapped them into the tiniest of boxes. Or maybe if they went vents, there'd be a chance, Mitch, but they're not going vents.
So many things they could have done there, but just sending Alfier to swing out wide on the rafters. Round away with 3 chances to close out this map. Let's not forget, they're defending a title here. They won Stage 1 last year.
Boaster making that move as well. Edging ever closer. And with 40 seconds left, Liquid do look.
Boaster's here. He's left that gap in heaven because they're confident that this is the right play, and now it's confirmed. Spike down. 25 seconds, flash out, but it's Kayak to fall. Chronicle not landing his shots either, and now they're wrapping around the side. He deals with that, or tries to, but Camo with another has opened up this site. A plant secured, and a Viper's pit to play inside of Alfier, though. It's a target-rich environment, and he'll find one as Boaster sprays down a double in the elbow. Camo out of that dimension and out of the map as 13-10 is locked in. Fnatic take their opponent's map pick, and now just one more to send them to Toronto.
Have fun. They just get to do what they get to do. So let's take a look at Agent Select. We will have a Gecko. It will be on Kron. Kayak is on Sage. Gorilla, break this down for me. How do you feel about this?
Post-plant, and more importantly, the retakes. I still think that's where that Sage will... I've seen anyone rezzed as well. You kind of forget that ultimate even exists with how things have been going recently. The Kiko fight not going too well for either side, but the plant is going to be coming in. Oh, no, it's not.
So you thought. So you thought, but the nade goes in. Now here's the wall. A little bit of safety to get that plant in. An orb, oh, it was not quite thrown through. Boaster falls, Chronicle in the same spot, and it's going to be hard for Kayak to fall back. He has to battle around this wall, and he's doing so with great success. Only one left, and it crumbles just like that. Fnatic 1-0.
Like, the worst thing is as well is they knew exactly where he was. Like, he was stuck behind his own wall with just a crispy couple of shots.
And obviously he has the wall, so he didn't buy himself the Sheriff. And that being recovered over, and it was exactly... Looked like they were going to win the opening pistol. And actually, them stabilizing and now being in a pretty reasonable spot. Camo, I mean, that is not pretty. Caught out by the salvos. His support taken down too as Kiko falls.
Running through the salvos, but that has not worked out at all. The sheer level of aggression is met by the patience of this Fnatic squad, and Alfie already looking comfortable once again. Only Serial standing, and sure, he gets his man and another. But when you're in a 1 versus 5,
steaming into the lead, their attack side looking good. And their ultimate economy coming online into this next round. The battle for these orbs is... And even the Gecko ultimate sent down B as a recon. That'll be available late round if they do end up with retake.
The switch up though, the immediate move towards middle. Like after having both sides pressured, Panitek though is there to try and hold the line. He's done well and has nAts alongside. But look at the position of the spike. It's not going to be easy, the reuse of that Thrash, just to clear out any information that they can. It doesn't quite catch onto Alfia, but Crashy's getting out of this position alive. Should be very difficult while Kiko makes sure of it. It is ult spam, to say the least, for the side of Liquid, but...
Find himself that pick deep into the spawn.
I say I don't mind it, though. Like, well, when you're 4-1 down, your economy's on the brink, important rounds to win. Kiko looking like he's going to go back for more, and, well... I couldn't keep up with where the shot went. It looked pretty close. How is Crash? He's winning these fights. He's picked 2 players within the site, and only Serial here doesn't have an ideal weapon of choice. He should at least be able to deny the plant, but he's being wrapped on. He's got to be incredibly careful, and having to give away his position eventually will be taken out.
Really nicely played. They were isolating themselves, but now, buying time for the flank, but nAts is ahead of the curve. If they take that kill, the defuse can be found for free. Look how far away Boaster is. He needed them to stay alive on that site to buy that little bit more time, and he's walled out by his own teammate's wall. There's no Sage on Team Liquid. In mid, he's trying to use this orb to creep under tube. That's somewhere that I think it's one of the only gaps for Team Liquid. And all the while, as you pointed out, Tom, these rotations have come through. Team Liquid got 4 players ready for the fight.
Oh, already. Camo goes swinging in. He was low. Kiko's done well, but Kayak's there with the trade. Plant
No charges left.
has come through. Potential for the res. There isn't going to be the spam. It's actually Kayak that goes down. In fact, they all start to fall, and now the only man standing was the lurk. There's still a possibility. Round that corner. Althea needs to get a move on. In fact, I don't think there's going to be anywhere near enough time, even with that extra little nano swarm. That diffuser will come through. Liquid will take themselves the lead. Panitek just watching for him to attempt to cross. Maybe not quite that caliber. Kiko's reposition, it's just missed. And that would have been Crashies. That would have been a lot of...
Relaxed about
Now
that.
he's back there again.
If they were rotating, they'd go right into his waiting arms. And like you said, he's right back in position, although now the pit is up. Luckily, he's got a shorty to play with. The downside is that lockdown put into play aggressively. A nano to cover them on the cross. But as you said, the nano, the other side puts in a lockdown. Luckily, they're able to cancel that out. Now a problem is nAts is stuck on the site, but is the defense going to be good enough to keep him alive? Yes, it is! Serial buys them that little bit of space, and with the pit up, there has to be a response. A pit in the other direction as Boaster will try to starve them of any space to play around, and it looks like it's working! They've ran into Kayak! Things going swimmingly for Fnatic. Finally, the defuse underway. It's halved already. It's getting damn close, but they'll drop it in the end. And now, the remaining players need to get on it fast!
Down into that 1v1. nAts trying to stick it all the way through the wall. Crashies goes! Right down to the depths, right down to the last few seconds, and that's what it takes for anymore for Liquid, and only the singular thrash left remaining for Chronicle. They used absolutely everything to get that 5th round over the line. And even then, it came down to a matter of seconds, and Crashies finding 3. I think that's going to be difficult for Liquid to face against.
So it utilized the deny map control in the first. Now it's the plants that they'll be looking to push back. Team Liquid deep in with Kiko. They're on the attack. The space taken can already get them a plant. Kayak spotted down underneath. How are they going to deal with him? It's a risk to go swinging in that deep, but oh, it almost works out. But Kayak up to his old tricks here in the pistol, but still a 2 versus 2. He goes in through the orb, wrapping around, but it's not enough, leaving Serial on 1 HP. But the pistol round this time.
Reses galore throughout this matchup, but it wasn't enough this time around. I'm genuinely shocked at how much he was able to get done with the classic. Just a lot of distraction as he spins on a dime, but ultimately it's Liquid to come out.
Let's go!
The players looking to make their way back into A, but you can see the only idea for Kayak is get someone on the cross.
He spotted them. Even just the information's enough for him. He'll be just 2 away from that Viper's pit in play as Fnatic happy to play the retake. A high-low coming in from Camo and Serial, and it will be disrupted immediately. The salvo's doing well to put them on the back foot in this initial fight. And all Fnatic need to do is trade. Crashies goes down as Serial picks up the double. It's Camo to trade out, and now Fnatic on the back foot. Kayak having to do it all again, but he's got the res to bring Crashies back into play. And no salvos just yet. It's all about the swing, and he's caught wall in hand. Panitek does well, and the defuse needing to be stuck at least to half. Crashies gets him, and within just in the nick of time, he'll take it across the line.
Serial and Camo to turn that round in their favor. And even Panitek towards the end, I'll be honest, I thought he had it with how little time was left on that clock.
Nice! That, and it's going to be Fnatic back in the lead if they lose this one, but they'll have the money to fight back. That's all that matters.
Awkward positions to fight from. Alpha up above
Nice.
has already managed to clear out 2. Try and clear some ground. In fact, the Viper's pit's going to be invested. Now, they expected this.
Allowing Panitek and Kiko to be the one taking these duels. Ult put into play, nAts falls back, but Kiko still close, gets his Blade Storm, but he won't land the shots. Crashies drops him with the wraparound from Panitek, not expected. They are thinning out the herd, leaving it down to just nAts, but he's up close in the pit. There's nothing more dangerous than this Viper.
That was the hero stinger that brought home the Rebel clutch. I also think you have to look at the importance of that 1 kill here coming through from Kiko, because it was actually the usage of that Armageddon. Get that kill, they lose the round. It's almost guaranteed. That one little play, and okay.
For a pick to be handed over into their favor. Flash, no, that's the ult being held, and now responded in by Chronicle. He's defending his stunned up teammates. The salvos barely avoided. A sliver of health left. Good flash. Paddy's blind. Goes swinging deep, and they'll get another rifle out of that. When that's already tagged low, a real opportunity now. They pushed them back to belt, but the ranged fight with the recovered rifle, that stands well for them, and the walls blocked them off. At least for now, the Mosh was able to deny, but Camo falling leaves this round in jeopardy. It's Fnatic's with an easy defuse. Far from the first for Fnatic. The potential return to form. Masters events, not somewhere they've done well recently.
You should run.
Crashies, in fact, has been used this to get positioning of their own. In fact, look how far forward they sit.
They've got no utility. They have to make up for it with the Brawn already dropping Boaster. That's the Viper's Pit out of play, and a lot of the hope of this round having already fallen. Kayak has a res. He's going to use it. I thought maybe they would let this one slide, but no, they want to battle. Kayak with the self-heal, but he's taken down, and now Crashies with it all to do. It's nAts dancing around on the high ground. Conscious that players could now cross through that window, move into kitchen, and backstab Kayak.
In this entire series, a chance for them to level things up again. Ultimates to get so far forward, and even hearing some of the steps, it all comes down to this fight, and he wins it again. The second time he's managed, although still online, they could deny this plant.
10 seconds left.
Armageddon's going to win this round. Salvo's already sent through. Here comes Armageddon. It's going to be a deeper plant, but not deep enough. I think it'll actually just about get in, but they're swinging in for the fight. The battle with the knife to close it out for Chronicle.
Even still, what a ludicrous round, but yet that was just perfect from Crashies again. Like, we could talk about the kills, we could talk about that he isn't necessarily on the feed, but he forced them to reposition time and time again. Yeah, I think maybe just a bit of a blip.
What am I doing, bro?
Oh, that's outrageous. At 11 to 11.
Bladestorm brought in. Thrash also available. Kiko is just looking to brawl, and he has nAts alongside him. This is not a sneaky beaky lurk. This is a ended in an even scenario. Straight out with the Thrash, but Serial's the one to give them the advantage. A really good opportunity here for Liquid to take the lead.
Uh-oh. All the way around. I'm not talking about Crashies. I'm looking at Kiko on the other side as Crashies falls. Up the steps he goes. His timing perfect. His position unpredictable. And he's not going to go for the knife kill. As Chronicle is left his own devices at 12th round, and they want to take the weapon out of his hands towards B. No mid-split this time, expecting perhaps an adaptation from Fnatic, but Kayak's got a play of his own, up on the wall. He won't find the pick, but they do deny the plan.
It's definitely going to make things a lot tougher. It's not like the other side where there's a Sage wall or something to respond. Of those lockdowns, plant will be found. Viper's Pit sent through, and while Camo is going to be caught, there's not really anything that can be done by that. It's just whether or not they can punish him.
There, but they're being slow about it, and there's a player already waiting for that swing. Camo comes out of the ult, no longer detained and able to take down Alphayer. A problem brewing. Crashies finds one, Viper's Pit, but they're on him, straight on him with the shorty. It's denied as Kayak tries desperately to pull this back, but the position of Kiko is too much to handle. Chronicle with it all to do. A 1v2 and a Viper's Pit decaying it down from the grave. Serial claims the map, and we go all the way to Fracture.
It's a battle of the Titans. Two teams that are having a fantastic... Fnatic are so ready for these players pushing towards Dish.
Oh, Kayak certainly is off
okay.
to a flying start. Not just on the Sage where he shows up, the pistol rounds are his territory. That's a triple with one from Alphayer. It's all on Serial, and it's off him very quickly. In zone, flawless to kick off Fracture.
In this scenario, they had a full setup ready for their opponents to go into Dish, and if you're talking about teams and doing their research, it doesn't get any better than that. Where it really does feel like an even playing field, as if the last two maps haven't already. That pace is not stopping, though.
Liquid certainly not coming in cold after Icebox. A dangerous position for Camo. Camo gets a second lease of life. Normally players would be down and out in this position. He is in a number of situations where he should be dead to rights. Third time lucky for Fnatic, not quite. Camo's the one taking that. Now coming through the smoke for a little bit more, and he'll catch Boaster. A phenomenal round. He'll finally meet his maker, but around the side is nAts. That double signed, sealed, and delivered the round.
Camo, but your problems have only just begun because while you're dealing with this maniac running around through smokes, or Kayak, you might see the SMG. That is because he's running it down already. Looking to try and get him behind them. In fact, it is. Alfia is kind of just stuck in no man's land, but just hiding, hoping he gets his gun back.
A Boaster getting destroyed. Right past one goes Camo, and he will be dropped in the end as Alfier finally gets his reward, but they don't know about Kiko, and they find out the hard way. It's Crashies alone, spotted as well, and they'll 1 versus 4, because he's the second man on that main push. Yeah, Boaster getting shot in the back, not ideal. He's the second guy in the main push, and he gets blocked off by the Vice Wall. So he's already had to wait that out. Wall and see if it sticks. And speaking of the wall, the Vice Wall has to be bypassed. I'll go through it on south side as 3. But the A site's already been lost. Trapwire, activate. Good kill for Boaster. And they've dodged the ult. Already a decent trade out to start this. Nico under pressure, but he's got support. Never mind, he doesn't have any support anymore. That's the rifle putting in work.
Finally, we've seen Route. Camo, though, still looking to fight spots out. Chronicle from a 4v2 to a 2v2, and he's looking for that little bit more. They line up, and he doesn't get anything. Now it's left all on to Panitek, and it's Crashies to drag them through, kicking and screaming. This has definitely felt like a solid map for him, but he needed to dig deep to win that round.
But it just doesn't seem to matter. Boaster does well at the start, but in this 4v2 that Crashies brought them to, with that initial fight, dodging the trade and then taking them out as his teammates fall.
Boys, let's go.
For them to get back into the game, nAts under pressure, but still seemingly thriving within it. It's only going to be the one, but the trade immediate on the other side. Camo once again dancing in towards the opponent's spawn. He's tucked in. Panitek is completely unaware. That will be a plant for Serial. Bear in mind, that is his ultimate online. Well, at least it will be once he's no longer suppressed.
He's not backing off to play the time to play the ult. He's sitting on the side. He's tanking that utility down to 70 HP. Blinded up as well, and his teammate not quite close enough to the smoke to help out. He'll drop after just 1 to pressure onto Kiko, but he delivers right when he needs to. 1 picked up. Chronicle trying to stick it to half. In fact, he's going to get it all the way there. Forces the fight with Kiko. Kiko sees he's not defusing, running this clock down. The time on his side. And the Red Bull clutch found. Team Liquid guaranteeing themselves a lead at the half.
How-esque when they played versus BBL. Of course, we know that Fnatic can be a different beast, never down, never out, but we've seen those humans just that little bit lower. Kayak finally in the right place at the right time, but stunned up, and immediately 2 teammates make that him as well. Gone Panitek again, and even has a little help from nAts. Alfia.
And they're just sending it. There's no waiting around. They are going to blitz him with utility, and Panitek throws himself at it too. 8-4, but it was almost flawless from that point forward. A bump in the road, but that's all that Fnatic could put up. Let's hope the second half.
For making history in this matchup. And while making the owners of the org very happy indeed. Who stand in their way are the masters of the comeback. Fnatic looking to try and turn the tide, and maybe a Kayak 3K will help them out.
Ropes, 4 rounds, and a disadvantage here in the pistol. Kayak, he'd been putting up 3Ks, 3 in a row, but now he's put to bed early. Damage onto Alfier in this 2 versus 2. Oh, he's almost finished off by nAts, but the wall gets in the way. Still a chance for Fnatic, but time is ticking. They need to force the fight, and Alpha successfully takes nAts out, leaves it onto Serial. He's had a rougher performance so far, but this could be his round to bury the hatchet in the backs of Fnatic, but Alfier bails them out on 15 HP.
Distance that would have been built between them and Liquid at that stage might have been enough to put this to bed. Instead, a heroic play.
They're going to be forcing the fight, actually. The salvo is putting them out in the open. There goes one for nAts. Not like this, surely, as Camo falls. The weapon to be recovered up top is nothing really to write home about. Alfier again bailing them out of a bad situation with a quad kill.
Where we were firmly within that chamber meta, and he took over that duelist spot and was frying just the same.
3 out of 5.
Red Bull,
Red Bull
goes it. Look to Serial to Either find one or at a minimum survive this engagement. Spam, not the best idea. 3 players ready to fire right back and confidently swinging into main. Boaster, another player with a slower start when it comes to this map. They've just heard the walk-up as well from nAts, and he will be dealt with ease. That's it, Team Liquid. There was a chance there. You saw Patatek toying with the idea of a peek, but that rifle...
Run in while having a Vandal, but the Bulldog was willing to be sacrificed. They actually gave him a Guardian so he could run in. The man is just hitting right now.
Who's the one holding it? Now that the push comes in on the other side of the map, though, the mistake could be made. nAts could go walking forward, as we should see Camo start that rotate to the other side fairly soon. Ultimate already committed, but it will be returned on. Armageddon from both sides. nAts with Patatek down and a Rolling Thunder committed to the site. You have to rely on that cross being held by Camo, and he's doing a wonderful job. A double, make that a triple to put double digits on the board for Team Liquid.
2 rounds in this half. The last with the operator surviving on the site. This time his teammate gets mowed down by a bunch of utility, but he's not there. He's waiting. Well, Camo is not looking to stop. Back-to-back 3Ks, back-to-back rounds. He is stuck in the mud, but he has some support, or at least did, now completely isolated. The utility is enough to finally find him.
The wall tripped, baited out to start this off. Kayak's got a big battle up in heaven, and he's won it too, with nAts still clinging onto life. It just now went on the rope to South, but Patatek cleaning up. Kayak brings this back into the realm of possibility. nAts popping the ult, he's 8 HP though. Even the pistols could take him down.
30 seconds.
30 seconds, they're now going to make their move. nAts incredibly low, already dealt with. Patatek isn't much healthier. It's going to come down to what Serial can do on this cross. First goes his way, but he's also tagged. Make their way towards the site, but as one of them is planting, the swing is going to come out, but nobody connecting. In fact, Crashies will find both. They might have been injured, but he had to correct so quickly.
But it doesn't work. He's able to adjust for both kills here.
Already. Oh, what? This is a few pieces missing, but it doesn't seem like it. An immediate pop of the ult wasn't even the party piece of the round. Alpha has popped 2 heads, and that's it, it's done.
They're holding on tight. The stun already subsided. They won't go down to the utility. And one final hold for this squad. That is nasty.
But they do still have one ultimate online and the other close. Immediately straight through the ultimate. Well, that's about as easy as a kill is ever gonna get, because Serial's about to throw his into the mix. Basically executed his own teammate, sent him to his death, and handed nAts a rifle, who's now chasing after Boaster, looking to run it down. Crashies has to rectify. Manages 1. Serial wins a battle with the Classic. This could be match point for the side of Liquid. They barely invested. There was only a few guns into this round, and at this stage, there's nothing the Chronicle could do. Just goes to try and fight, but it's too little too late. 12 to 10, Liquid, 1 away.
Yeah, from Fnatic to get aggressive like that. Kayak looked like he was surprised there's a player there. Well, he's not going to be in the ult, is he?
It's more the fact that
my wall worked when it has to work now. It's perfect timing.
They're keeping 4 players towards this side of the map, and Fnatic have to re-aggress. They're going to do so with less of that punchy utility. Deep flash, orbital strike put into play, though. That's going to force them forward. It forces Camo into their waiting arms. He couldn't get out of there and had to go in deeper. The stun is perfect from Kayak. Sets himself up for success, and the round should be theirs. Serial, he had a shaky start to this map, and a challenge to recover it all. It's just nAts, 1v2, an ult to be used, to be put into play right in the final round.
They didn't need to take the fights without their weapons. Maybe he thought they were more committed than they were, and because of that, they're able to fall back and look to refight this.
All still in play.
They've known it's there every single time. But nAts has already repositioned. Chronicle's gonna get isolated though! Maybe thinking it was a little bit deeper, and now 15 seconds, there's not really any time for Boaster to run it back, but he will land the shot anyway! IGL v IGL! Boaster keeps them in the map!
Switching sides.
For them, the Razor Vines, the walls set up perfectly. And he was there just in time to catch them. Serial gave them that chance.
Come on,
Oh,
You've not seen that side of Boaster for some time, if at all.
that was it. That was Liquid going to Toronto. Instead, it's OT. The climb back from 8-4 down, the climb back. But this is where they do their best work. Both players stunned. Did Kayak. He has support from Boaster, but it's a little bit further behind. Needs to find a fight, and he gets it. That's nAts gone.
Leaded from the round, indeed. Coming from the smokes, though, is Kiko to level the playing field. Chronicle manages to answer back north side. Late flank coming in. Control of their own. Not wanting to go up the rope and into heaven. They're waiting for a peek. They're waiting, knowing Team Liquid will look for information and knowing their utilities coming online soon. Both come into play at exactly the right moment. And with Panatek falling, the round is there for Fnatic. Boaster's on his feet again. Oh. And instead, it's Fnatic who are close to filling out those forms.
It is one round away. And well, if there wasn't...
Defuse.
Let's not be silly. This has been a back and forth series all the way through. This is not done until one wins by 2.
Comes back in. 4 players here to work with. Stuns go through. So do the salvos, but nAts still has a safe angle. They might not expect that. They've seen him now. Boaster and Chronicle finding 2. This could be it. The final domino set to fall. Team Liquid dig deep with Panatek on 1, but he's immediately traded out. It's Camo who has to find success. The spike right in front of him, and now on the floor. Alphayear has to move back to get it. Camo in his way, but it will fall! A red ball clutch from Alphayear to send Fnatic to Toronto.
Right from the depths of defeat. We have talked about this roster and their resilience throughout the history of this squad. 2023, they made their name. Go back to Lock-in where they were dead and buried and came back to win a title.
And they've done it again.
I think as well, you look back for the coaching staff, the changes that were made by this roster, the gambles that were taken, putting the assistant coach into the main role, bringing in a new guy, bringing in a guy from across the pond as well. But everything has paid off for Fnatic. They are back on the international stage where they belong.